Ready? The September 9th, the council meeting may call to order. Would you please stand for the pledge of allegiance and hold in silence? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda will be approval of the minutes from the August 26th meeting.
Move to approve the minutes from the August 26th meeting.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the August 26th meeting. Would the clerk please call roll?
Stites?
Yes.
KR?
Yes.
Malat?
Yes.
Shriver?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda will be statement of bills paid in the amount of $257,710.74.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to accept the statement of bills in the amount of $257,710.74.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the statement of bills paid. Would the clerk please call roll?
Stites?
Yes.
KR?
Yes.
Malat?
Yes.
Shriver?
Yes.
Before we do requests for comments from the public, I'm going to read a proclamation. Whereas in every generation, members of our armed forces have answered the call of our nation's hour of need. They have defended our freedom and way of life. Many from Wyandotte County and the city of Edwardsville have shared in that sacrifice. We honor these Americans who have been prisoners of war, who we remember those who are still missing in action, and renew our commitment to keep searching until all are accounted for. And whereas the flag of the National League of Families of American Prisoners of Missing in Southeast Asia has flown over many locations across our country. The flag reminds us of our pledge to seek a full accounting for all still missing. We Americans are blessed with the freedom we made possible by the service and sacrifice of so many. It is fitting and just that our entire nation honors and pays special tribute to our prisoners of war and those who remain missing. Therefore, I, John McTaggart, Mayor of the City of Edwardsville, Kansas, do hereby proclaim September the 14th, 2019 as POW-MIA Recognition Day in the City of Edwardsville, Kansas, and call upon all citizens to join me in saluting all American prisoners of war and those missing in action, to observe the day with appropriate ceremonies and activities. Okay, now, any requests for comments from the public? Doesn't appear to be, so, okay. Next is consider authorizing city manager to enter into a contract with Mid-America Roofing Inc. for demolition of municipally owned buildings. I'll get it down.
Thank you, Mayor. This item this evening is for the demolition of what we generally refer to as the north buildings, being the old grocery store and restaurant sites to the north. As you recall, as part of our overall redevelopment project, we retained the services of KBS, as well as Arc Images and engineering under those, and also have retained services of a company for the asbestos inspections prior to bidding the actual demolition of this project. As you see, we are demolishing about 23,500 square feet of building. That includes the building foundation, everything that goes with that. About 108,000, 109,000 square feet of paving that is located around that, and then all of that will be put back into a grass type area until we make determinations on how to use it in the future. We did issue bids. I believe there was a total of 6 companies that actually originally received the bids. We received 4 responses. The low bid is Mid-America Roofing Incorporated. They are in partnership with Ritz Wrecking, excuse me, on the particular project. We do have representatives here this evening with the company, so if there's any questions, but we are recommending that you issue the low bid to Mid-America Roofing and authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with them to perform that work. Again, we have representatives of KBS and the Bridge Breaking / Mid-America Roofing Company. We'll be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, we need a recommendation to award the bid to
Motion
the
to.
contract actually be with Mid-America Roofing Company. They're
Okay.
based out of Swampy also.
Estimated timeline if this bid passes, the timeline on when this will be done.
Well, we have to, we'll have to give a 10-day notice to KDHE for environmental purposes. And so that probably will soon occur with the issuance of the contract notice to proceed. And if I remember right, is it a
45 days from notice to
45
proceed.
days from the award of bid. So I would say by mid-November, the project should be completed. We probably won't do anything until we get it, we may do some of the paperwork, but we won't do any type of scheduling of the demolition until after we have Edwardsville or Autumn Fest here, 2 weekends away. I think we want to be in the middle of that project with that, and that was noticed to the bidders that were aware of that.
Make a motion to authorize city manager to enter into a contract with Mid-America Roofing, Inc. for the demolition of municipally owned buildings in the amount of $88,000 or not to exceed $88,500.
It has been moved and seconded to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Mid-America Roofing, Inc. for the demolition of municipally owned buildings in the amount not to exceed $88,500. Would the clerk please call roll?
Stites?
Yes.
KR?
Yes.
Malat?
Yes.
Shriver?
Yes.
We have a busy evening. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I only have really 2 items. One, myself, the mayor, and a couple members of our staff attended the annual MPR, which is Midwest Public Risk Conference. As always, I thought it was very educational and useful. I think we all came back with some good information. I spent a little bit of my time in the area of this whole cybersecurity and all of those kind of things, and it's a scary thought. And even today, Chief and I spoke about some of the things we do and maybe don't do, maybe some of the things we might want to implement just to improve those kind of securities, because I don't think you can ever be secure enough. They even referenced, I think it was the banking or medical system, and they had all the security stuff in place. But their building maintenance guy maintained the fish tank thermometer from his laptop, right? Got to the laptop, got to the thermometer wired back or, connected back to the mainframes, and next thing you know, they're missing, $2 million worth or whatever. So, I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's the second time I've attended something where the FBI were the ones basically presenting it. You just kind of shake your head, but I think we learned things, and I think each member of the staff benefited from that. So the second thing I want to note is we have officially received the plaque on behalf of Mr. Whittam as his Chief Fire Officer certification. I think I told you about that. Last meeting, we had just gotten it, and if you notice on his lapel, he has the insignia above his other insignia for being part of the fire officers training academy. So we're very proud of the work that he's done, and congratulate him on that. And now he has to maintain it. That's the part. You get it, but then you got to maintain it too. So I know that will continue to be work. So
Has there been a photo taken of him with that and placed on the?
not yet.
Maybe.
He literally just brought it to me right before the meeting.
I'm sure that he's probably taken a lot of
Well,
photos.
he may have taken a lot of photos.
But we haven't got it on our website.
It's just hit the mail and got it.
Yeah, so they shipped, so, yeah. He literally just handed it to me right before the meeting, but I'm sure we'll
Cool.
get photos and make sure that's out there on various social media.
That's yours? Zach, you have anything to add?
Yeah, real quick, I'm gonna go up here, so just for the benefit of the camera to hear me.
Perfect.
And so, and well, this is, you know, we do want to get the word out, so this will be the last time that I were able to address you before Autumn Fest. So just to give you guys a quick update on some of the activities planned for that. Friday evening, the 20th, at 6 o'clock at the city park, that's when the Atmos Energy 2019 Disc Golf Open is going to kick off. So signups, I think they may have officially closed, but if you are still thinking you want to participate, you can reach out to me or Mike Martin, and we can get you included on that roster. Outfield Beer Company is going to be at that the disc golf event starting at 6 with some of their brews. On Saturday morning, the Kiwanis Club is going to have their Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. They've not provided tickets yet, but they've let us know that the same amount that they've always afforded us are going to be available. So if you're interested in attending, I believe that is at begins at 7:30 at the Edwardsville Elementary. It goes from 7:30 to about 9 o'clock. Ross is catering, we're going to be catering that. So if you're interested in participating in that, let me know and we'll get your spot secured. The Edwardsville Elementary Choir will kind of officially kick off the day on Saturday with a performance at 11 o'clock on our main stage. After that, the carnival will be open. The craft fair will technically be open on Friday, but it'll officially open on Saturday at 11. We've got pretty much a full community center with various craft vendors and craft and clothing and handmade stuff, so it should be pretty cool. If you're interested in any volunteer opportunities or know anybody who is interested, let me know. Our need for volunteers isn't as big this year as in previous years because the attractions that we're getting from our carnival vendor, they're actually providing their own staff for a lot of that. So we do have some bounce houses that need some kind of chaperoning, but other than that, we don't need as many volunteers as we've had in the past, which is nice because more people can come and just kind of enjoy the day. Mouse races, face painting, balloon animals. We've got the fire department is going to be setting up a kind of a big squirt gun battle in that big green space right south of the fire station. So hopefully it doesn't, get wet otherwise, and hopefully we're in charge of how wet folks are getting on that day. We're reaching out to a dog group who does, show dog that might have some kind of demo thing at that point in the afternoon. So once we firm up those details, we'll let everybody know. But yeah, we're really just anxious for the day to come and go, and we're keeping an eye on the weather, and it should be, if last year was any indication, it should be a really great event. So if you got questions or want to sign up or want to go to the prayer breakfast, just let me know and we'll get you plugged in. That's all I got.
Thank you, Zach. Chief Mathies.
Proud to announce that Officer Michael Hart will receive from the City of Bonner Springs a life-saving recognition on the 23rd. He was attending a concert off duty and gave CPR for an unconscious person, and they survived. And they attributed that CPR directly to the survival, so that's excellent. We have one graduating the 20th, and then we'll be here from Autumn Fest. By the 23rd, we'll be full staff. We've hired all people that we have vacancies for, so we're excited about that, and we're ready for the Autumn Fest. So that's our list.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Whitten.
Just a couple things. One, we talked about, we got our ISO rating down to 2. So we've got our commemorative coins. The decals will be popping out on the trucks here before too much longer.
Wow.
Kind of a proud moment for a small size community that we have here. The other thing is everybody's asked about up front with the remodeling going on. We are doing a little bit of spring cleaning in the fall. If you notice, we got a couple cactus up there. We are going to have a tranquility garden that's in honor of the master paramedic and EMT that was murdered up at the north end in 2004. So we'll bring the family back in for that when it's all done. Finally, we are at full staff. Well, we're still short one paramedic, but Larry Basker retires at the end of this month. We brought on Travis Hubble coming over from Shawn E. Fire. Will be filling his spot. And Ben Morrow, everybody, who's going to stand up, has been selected as the deputy chief to fill the vacancy that we had over there. I will let him introduce himself here in just a second. He will be on full with us middle of October.
Thank you. It's been an emotional day for me. I look forward to serving the city and
and leading with the chief to grow the community into the future. It's an honor, and I'm proud and grateful to be here. Thank you.
Welcome.
And Ben, just a couple of things. Ben currently serves as a chief at the Lone Star Ammunition Plant?
Lake City.
Lake City's ammunition plant, has a number of years in both fire and EMS, and actually was a part-time employee here many years ago, working some paramedic shifts for us back when we first started the ambulance, working some paramedic time and working some extra shifts. So actually, he has some knowledge of us, so he has some experience with us, and it's glad to have him back. So we look forward to working.
Thank you.
And real quick on the ISO rating, we've got documentation in case, folks have already started asking about providing that to their homeowners insurance. So if they need, whatever they need for their homeowner insurance, as it may have effect on their rates, just have them reach out to us, we can provide that.
Thank you. Danny, Public Works?
Yes, I'll give you an update of what's going on in Public Works.
She's got lots of stuff.
I know lots of stuff. Well, we wrapped up that force main repair a few weeks ago. Currently on our sanitary sewers, we are locating and excavating some of our sanitary sewer manholes downtown. If you go around, you see some snow fence in people's front yards and side yards. There's been sanitary sewer manholes that have been buried for 34 years that we obviously didn't know existed. Obviously, maybe unified government did because they managed it all those years. Probably not, but it's in our best interest to locate them, bring them all up to grade so we have access for them for future emergencies. So in case you get any questions by citizens down there, we've had a few calling. We have 2 projects out for bid right now. We have a crack seal project that's going to open next Thursday for just various roads and around the city and riverfront and the community center parking lots. We also have a street project out to bid right now that's going to open the following week. That's going to consist of a couple of storm drainage kind of projects. The one off of 105th Terrace in Shelton, where we have all the water and all the potholes and all of that. We're going to resolve that issue by putting in some curb and gutter, elevating the pavement and repaving the entire intersection. So it'll all be still surface drainage, but it'll all flow to the curb inlet on the northwest corner up there at Edwardsville Drive in Shelton. Over 102nd Terrace at Still, we've always had I understand we've always had a water issue. That, again, all that's surface water and there's no curb inlets down there. A few years ago, our 2017 contractor put a drop inlet in the middle of on the corner of one of the intersections of 102nd Terrace to capture the water, and we put a pipe in under 102nd Terrace, and we kind of just ended it, and we didn't have the funds to continue it down to the creek. And so right now, that's part of this project, to continue that on down, to get that water off the pavement and away from the street. Then we have a few other little pavement areas that we're going to try to address. Up on 96th Street, we've been battling pavement failures up there for 3 years, a little dead end and Pipe Orchard. But you know, there's big trash trucks just kill our roads. And down here on 8th Street, just north of Newton, a little kind of dead end. Again, we've had severe rutting and horrible conditions that we need to get some street patching down there for those people. And then if we have additional funds, we'll see what some of our other patching needs are. You know, I know we have a lot of transverse cracks down the River Falls subdivision, and people are complaining. That's a typical pavement distress. But if we have funds, we're going to try to address some of those on the back end of probably the crack seal contract. So we have all that going, and then just an update for code enforcement. Right now, we have abated 199 code enforcement issues this year to date, and we have 64 open. So we have about 263 code cases total since the beginning of the year, and we have 6 cases in court. And I think we probably have 2 or 3 more that may be going to court if they don't abate by the end of this week. Lots of those are tall grass, as we all know. It's been a wet year. Nothing's gone dormant, nothing's died, right? So while we are fighting it on the public works side, just keeping our stuff mowed and trimmed, you know, lots of property owners are in homes too, so we're seeing more and more of that. And then I'll touch upon right-of-way tree mowing. We're probably about 75–80% done with that on all of our collector roads up north. We have some more we're gonna come back and hit again. And along with that, we're gonna come out and mow one more time along the edge of the road for the grass, the right of way. We'll try to hit that one more time before winter's here. So that's where we are.
Thank you, Tammy. Lucy, you have anything? Well, Carolyn, I'm gonna start with you.
Zach, great thank you for all the work on the Autumn Fest. I'm sure it'll be good. It's a lot of organizing. It seems like there's a lot of big news from just the reports, the advisory reports. Chief Matthews, please tell your officer thank you for being diligent, even off duty. That's a really big deal and represents us well. Congratulations, Chief Whitten, on the certification, and nice to have you with us. Congratulations on the new position.
Just gonna echo all the comments from over here. Welcome to back or to wherever you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I too will echo all the comments. Welcome to Edwardsville. Welcome back to Edwardsville.
Thank you.
And Chief McLeese, I certainly hope, and I'm sure it will happen, that is it Officer Hart?
Hart,
He's going to get a recognition from Bonner Springs
yeah. On,
that we push
24th.
that out on our social
Yeah, we
media
will.
as well.
yeah,
I
we will.
wouldn't mind him coming to one of our meetings as well. Not every day somebody saves a life.
Yeah,
so.
we have a statewide recognition that we will submit and see if he gets some credit for that as well. And we thought that would be the time to celebrate even more. That will take a few months to get that done, but we plan to submit that he gets recognized for that particular one. The metro area, which we belong to, that group has one, but it just passed. They just did it. So but that's something we'll consider as well.
Very proud, very proud. Chief Woodham, thank you again, and congratulations. And this is enormous. And to hand that out to the whole community to alert them to, for their insurance companies. I mean, that's a savings, it's gonna be a savings for people, so that is huge, thank you. One more question, so the property I asked you about, just east of Jackson's,
Yes.
I read over the notes and, you know, I asked about it last meeting and I think the notes said that it was gonna be a car lot, but now it's not.
And now there's a bunch of trucks parked there that shouldn't be parked there.
Well, it looks like a business is being run. It looks like a business has been run there for a while.
I do know, I'm fairly certain that Tammy's may be able to help me, but I believe that Dave met with the property owner last week, who says someday they want to do something, which is fine, but
In the
this
meantime,
isn't- but this isn't someday, and that they can't stockpile that stuff there, they can't leave those trucks there. I don't know if that is
Codes.
also in codes.
Code says an active case, we're working with them to get everything off the property, so
Yeah.
it's one of our,
How much time do they have?
I'd have to look at it.
Okay,
We're in
I
conversation.
thought you might have said something about that, but it wasn't in the notes, so my
You know, so-
memory, you know.
Typically, we
I
have
thought
what's
it
in our
was-
ordinance, but wouldn't we actually reach out to people and they're working with us, you know, and work with them to get this stuff off?
Before
We-
it
we've
becomes
already-
official.
Well, before they go to court, so they're probably on their second notice, so.
It just doesn't look like anything's happened, so
Yeah.
sometimes the
They
conversation
put
doesn't do
some, I know
anything.
some signs out there today that are in the right of way that aren't right, I missed.
Mhm.
I mean, we want to help them achieve success, but at the same time, there's
Oh,
a
it's
number,
not fair.
there's a number of things.
Right.
Some of that I think got moved off of property A and got moved over to property B,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not an option. So, but yes,
Okay.
we're very aware.
Sorry, Tammy, to add to your list, but
No, it's already on
the
there.
list.
Yeah.
it's not like it's hidden anywhere, it's
Yeah.
right out in the
Right.
open.
Exactly.
And we have one more Parks meeting tomorrow night, so it'll be exciting. Pray for good weather and a
Yes.
good turnout. I'm sure it will be very exciting. That's all I have.
Chuck?
I think it's important that we do make sure that that Officer Hart does get recognized fully. It's not enough that when officers do the right thing, it seems like they definitely get called out when the wrong things done more often and publicly shamed. But I want to make sure that he gets our support for what we can do for him.
Well, I think, just to say, you know, from the past, I think we've always tried to make sure that police officers, fire officers, or anybody else, you know, EMS, whatever, bring them to the public and recognize those things, because that is important for exactly the reasons that you say. You know, you have to celebrate, you know, that's a big victory in a lot of ways, but I mean, we got to celebrate,
Definitely
we got to celebrate.
Big victory to the person who's
Person that's
needing
still
it.
alive.
But sometimes the only time we get to meet them,
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and
right.
the flip
which is a
side,
good thing.
the flip side of it too is if it wasn't successful, the officer has to deal with that.
That's true.
And there's so, and that's a lot to burden, a lot to carry with you. So, anyway, welcome. Sure, look forward to it. Congratulations, thanks for the form, like it. Told Councilman Shriver, I said, I like it, looks nice, it's nice, neat. 204 South 4th Street. I'm not sure, and I'm not asking if it's active case or not.
203,
204, is that on the
well, the tall grass.
first house south of
Yep,
the tracks?
That's an active case.
I would imagine. I didn't ask, but it needs to be. I don't think they've mowed this year.
They actually have. They
Well,
actually have.
well, maybe in May. They might have mowed in May, but it looks terrible.
Their final is, coming up, so.
Okay. The September 14th, Mayor, with the POW MIA Recognition Day. I didn't know if it's possible, I'm not sure what the rules are on that. Would we be able to fly a flag under our flag on that day, a POW MIA flag for that day? That's another way of showing recognition on that day.
Yeah, you might get a hold of, what's his name, Jenkins, or Jennings from Bonner.
Jennings.
Jennings from the VFW.
Under the flag code, you can. You can fly a state, you can fly a service-related,
Yeah,
underneath the American flag.
but there's an order, right? I mean, United States and then state, then
Yes.
sub. So I would think that on that day, if that's our recognition day, then that would be a good day to
It's a good idea.
fly that. I'm full of them, I just don't let them all out all at once. And that's all I have.
Margaret, follow-up 927 is the next inspection for that lot. So,
Thank you.
Mayor, one thing I probably should have added just for everybody, related to the Village South and that, the bond issuance, just to get everybody up to date. So I think I noticed you also what they call preliminary offering statements are out. So it's on the street, as they would say. They will be, it's a little different than the way we do it. When we do our bonds, we set, 11 a.m. on a certain date, and about 10 minutes till the computer, all of a sudden, boom, 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 you got 5 bids, and that evening, the city council, accepts those bids. In these kind of cases, what will happen is there's the 3 bond series out there. People will start maybe giving bids or pricing, and some negotiation occurs with the underwriters. And sometime around the 17th, they'll basically say, okay, we're going to close, we're about to close this out, and they'll take all the bids that they've received on the different bond issuance and basically say, okay, we're closing it. It's probable that some of those may not actually sell during the bid process, but the underwriter will basically buy those bonds and then resell them after the closing. They got to get to a certain point. And at that point, that's when it triggers the Attorney General's review. So he has to review his office after that's closed, and they review it and basically say, okay, did the city council create a TIF district? Did you pass these ordinances? Did you do these things? They basically look at all those documents that is provided by the various attorneys to say, okay, everything was, they don't care about the amount, they just care about, was the process legal and official? They make a determination. I can't think of a situation where they went, oh no, you did it all wrong. So they make their determination, and that's the point that the project funds or closes. So that's where money literally goes, the bonds, if I'm a buyer, I send you a check and you send me the bond, so then it all funds. That is looking to be October 15th for that date. It's a little fluid because of when do the bonds finish bidding, and then how long does the AG take to close that. But right now, October 15th is that date that we anticipate that process ending, and then at that point, assuming all things go well.
If all things go well, can we have a party?
Yes, and I will say we've talked, I have talked to the developer about some ways to help have a new groundbreaking.
Okay, yeah.
Presentation. I think there's some neat ideas. And quite honestly, having the Hard Rock as one of the partners might make that interesting. So
Okay.
hope to see.
That'd be great.
I meant to say something earlier, but that's just kind of an update.
Hey, Mayor, if I can say something, just
Go ahead.
when we do that, I spoke to multiple commissioners
Yeah,
that want to make sure that they are apprised of that date
absolutely.
and are informed of that date, so we'll make sure the UG, some of the
We'll make sure
commissioners.
the entire commission, the mayor and the entire commission is aware. And when we did the initial kickoff, a number of them, the mayor and a number of commissioners were able to attend. I believe the county manager was there as well. Absolutely.
Is that it? I really don't have a lot. It's good to be back up here. I had a little issue that I had to take care of, and a little delay in life, but at least I made it through that. And I appreciate all your concerns. And welcome.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Chief
you all.
Whittam, thank you for the process, and this sounds like everything has gone pretty good, and we have the man that you want, which is important.
He has the right mustache, I think is what it is.
I wasn't gonna say that about mustaches, kind of reminiscent of our last one, but anyway.
I'll
A
shave it
little
off
bit
tonight.
lighter hair, he had darker hair than you. But, and Chief Whittam, congratulations one more time for your motion, for your recognition. So anything with that, we are adjourned.